the rising tide.
ただ、
All right.
説明していく前に少しでも映像を見た方がなんとなく頭に入るんじゃないかなと思います。
That said, instead of just talking about it, I think having some sort of visual guide would help kind of allow that to sink into your minds.
So a trailer, gameplay?
タイドのトレーラーからご紹介していこうと思います。
As such, we'd like to show off a trailer.
Let's see it. Hell yeah.
They would create a new Mother Crystal. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child.
She's calling us. None other than Shiva herself.
Okay. Timekeeper. Some boss called Timekeeper we're fighting here. Wow.
He deserves a better fate.
The frames, though. The frames.
He deserves to be free.
This looks fun, though. You get some new abilities and powers? Okay, that's sick. Is that Tom Berry King? That is Tom Berry. Oh my. Oh, you're fighting Leviathan. Yo, that's sick. Okay. Kaiju battles are back in the DLC. Dig it. Oh my. Wow. What? What kind of crazy ass new power? All right, that was hype.
Thank you guys. まあ大抵こういうトレーラーのラストだと発売日が出そうなもんなんだけど。
You know, when we show these kinds of trailers, you would expect there be a release date on there.
大丈夫。今日のセッションの最後必ず
Like later this month or next month, probably.
But don't worry, we will make sure to mention about the release timing during this presentation.
で今回、この今表示されているアートワーク DLC ライジングタイドのために、高橋和也に書き下ろしてもらった、
Hold on, Jack. I got you in a bit.
So of course, this is our new key art that we had requested Kazuya Takahashi to draw for the Rising Tide.
今回もですね DLC1、に引き続いてクライブ、ジョシュア、ジル、トルガルという、4人での旅というところをしっかり描いています。
And of course, just like with the first DLC, we have Clive and company, including Jill, Joshua, and Torgal.
しかもね、青空の下でという内容になっていますので、それらの詳細、これから、ディレクターのクジラ岡の方にどんどん掘り下げていってもらおうと思います。
And they will be traversing in a realm that has a blue sky, but we are going to have Kujiraoka explain that throughout this presentation.
Go ahead.
Okay. じゃあ僕の方から、まずはねストーリーのイントロダクションの紹介をしたいと思います。
All right, so we're going to begin with me talking a little bit about the story.
はい、今回の物語クライブの元に届い
A
た
mark letter arrives. The highway containing requests. Most curious, the dominant
The story
of
begins with a letter
Leviathan.
arriving at the hideaway.
でそこには伝説の召喚獣リヴァイアさんの名とそのドミナントを救ってほしいという不思議な依頼が書かれ
It's
て
in
い
need
ます
of rescue.
According to the strange missive, the dominant of Leviathan the Lost is in dire need of help.
なぜ本編にリヴァイアさんが現れなかったのか、ドミナントを救うとは一体どういうことなのか、
Uh-huh.
それらはすべて
You call Clive is
新た
coming
な
on this journey
冒険の舞台
to
であるミシディアで
Cydia
明らかになります。
and land under the blue
So
sky.
why has Leviathan appeared now after being lost for so many years? And why does its dominant need saving? The answers lie in a place called Mysidia.
それでは、この物語のキーとなる2つの要素を紹介したいと思います。1つ目は新たなキャラクターです。
So now let's take a closer look at two key aspects of the Rising Tide storyline. The first being character.
はい、この女性キャラクター、名前はシュラと言います。責任
New ally Shula.
真面目な性格
Interesting.
で堂々とした立ち振る舞いが特徴のキャラクターです。
So first we have a new character named Shula. She can be best described as an earnest, dignified, and having a strong sense of duty.
Okay.
今お話しした特徴なんですが、どうやら彼女のね、
Cool.
立場やこれまでの、背負っているものっていうものが大きく影響しているようです。で、一緒に旅をする中でリヴァイアさんとの関係性や彼女の内面も見えてくるので、ぜひこちらもご注目ください。
So these characteristics tie directly into her backstory, a tragic tale that Clive will learn more about on their journey together, as well as learn about her connection to Leviathan.
でちなみに、身長かなり大きくてですね、クライブと同じくらいでがっしりした体格をしています。バトルにもバッチリ参加してくれるので、そちらの方もぜひね、楽しみにしていてください。
And as you can see here, she is well built and almost as tall as Clive himself. She is also
Yeah,
an
I
accomplished
guess
fighter
I
and will
noticed.
join Clive in battle.
はい、ではですね、続いて2つ目の要素をご紹介したいと思います。
Okay, so let's move on to the second key story aspect.
All right. Ifrit versus Leviathan. Yeah, boy.
バトル欠かせないですよね。
And of course, that would have to be Ifrit's epic battle with Leviathan. But wait a second. Before you said that Leviathan has to be saved by Clive.
セーブ、yes, yes.
How can you save Leviathan by kicking his ass?
そうね、救うってさっき言ってたのに、なんで戦う？
That's true. We did mention to save Leviathan. What does this mean?
いや、まあいい質問なんですけど、ここでそれ話しちゃうと全部ネタバレになっちゃうので、これは皆さんの目で確かめていただきたいと。
Okay, well, he says it's a good question, but it's one that he can't answer because it reveals too many spoilers, so you'll just have to play and find out yourself.
まあいずれにせよ戦うことによって救うんだと。
The artwork here is pretty good, though.
By fighting,
Like, look at these shots, man.
save the dominant.
Holy
そう
hell.
だね、戦わないと DLC にならないもんね。
ゲームにならない。
Well, that's true. Technically speaking, you do have
Final
to
Fantasy
fight
games
about
are
10
like so
years
freaking
of-
cool in a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
way
there's no battle
because of the
story. It's
artwork.
a game without a battle, that's not what we are.
じゃあちょっとそのね、バトル内容を軽く触れておきたいと思います。
Okay, so next up we want to talk a little bit about the battle itself.
Okay.
本編のような召喚獣バトルの、ド派手さもさることながら、イフリートを操作する、極限のバトルを目指してかなり攻めた難易度にしてあります。
Okay, as for the battle itself, well, it might not be as flashy as some of Clive's previous icon encounters, but seeing it as it is the final icon versus icon battle in the game, we wanted to make it especially challenging.
まあ前
I
回
like that. Make it challenging. Hell yeah.
がクライブの、キャラクターとしてのラストダンジョンに近い DLC だったので、今回はイフリートとしての、ファイナルエンカウンターとしてかなり難易度を高めに設定してます。
So, of course, with the Echoes of Fallen, our last DLC, we kind of positioned it as Clive as a character and his sort of last dungeon. So, for the Rising Tide, it would be Ifrit in its final encounter.
なので、本編の16本編の召喚獣バトルってドラマとかストーリーのできるだけ邪魔をしないように、イフリートの技一つ二つ使わなくてもクリアできるぐらいのバランスにしてました。
And so it's going to be a very tough battle for sure. We've adjusted the difficulty so that it is compared to the the base game of Final Fantasy 16, a lot of those iconic battles where you have those cinematic, large-scale fights, you would only employ maybe one or two Ifrit like specific moves, and you would probably get through it because we try to focus on the story and making sure that it doesn't interfere with the drama that happens in the narrative. But
Right.
this time, yeah.
今回はぜひ皆さんライジングタイドプレイする前にイフリートのアクション全部思い出して全部使える状態にしておいてくださいね。一つもかけるとかなり苦しくなると思います。
But this time, before you go into the Rising Tide, you might want to brush up your Ifrit like abilities and make sure you know and are familiar with all of the different actions.
なんかディレクターからアドバイスある？
Any advice from the director?
そうですね、もし勝ってなかった負けちゃったとしても、クライブのレベルを上げたりクライブの武器防具をちゃんと最新に更新さえすればそれによってイフリートにもちゃんと強化が反映されるのでぜひね諦めずに挑戦していただきたいかなと思います。
Okay, so if at first you don't succeed in the battle, well, remember that Ifrit's strength is relative to Clive's strength, and that includes weapon and gear as well. So, if at first you don't succeed, power up, level up, and try again, and again, and again.
まあつまりねしっかりクライブを、鍛えていってアイテムも武器防具を更新していけばイフリート自体も強くなるので諦めずにチャレンジしてください。
Yes, so make sure that you are also powering up Clive and making sure that you are thorough in trying to upgrade his equipment, including his gear and his weapon, and don't give up.
はい、ではですね、それでは
Cool, cool.
いきます。
All usual stuff, you know, in RPG.
Next one.
次は新たなるその冒険の舞台となるミシディアの紹介をしていきたい
Oh,
と
wow.
思います。
Next, we're going to take a look at where you're going to be adventuring. The area.
Deep within the sea of darkness, sanctuary exists for those who know where to look. A lost oasis untouched by the effort of crushing blight. It is beneath her emerald spouse
So
that
Mysidia
both
is
man
one of
and
the
beast
many
have found their
regions
final
located in
haven.
Storm's northern territories.
ちなみにミシディアといえば、FF だと2と4に登場する国や、町の名前となってますがそれらと直接関係があるわけではないです。
Hardcore FF fans may recognize the name Mysidia from Final Fantasy II and Final Fantasy IV, where it appears as both the names of the village and a nation.
ただいずれも共通して魔法が大きく関わる、場所になるのでオマージュとして我々も今回この名前を採用することにしました。
And while our Mysidia isn't directly related to those past Mysidias, magic does play a pivotal role in the story of all three, hence us choosing that name as a kind of a callback.
まあそれにしてもねこの青空、本編を最後まで遊んだ方はかなり不思議な、気持ちで見ているのではないでしょうか。
Also, I'm guessing many of you, especially those who have made it to the end of Final Fantasy XVI, have noticed the blue sky in this area.
でもちろんね我々がもういい加減明るい場所で冒険したいと思ったことがきっかけでもあるんですがこれにはちゃんと物語上の、理由が、用意してあります。
Again, this design choice mostly came from our dev team being kind of tired of playing the endgame content in that Primogenesis gloom, but there is an actual reason that ties in with the story.
ただそれも、
okay.
どうしてもねネタバレにつながってしまうので今日は代わりにこのミシディアの美しい風景をまとめた動画をご覧いただきたいと思ってます。
Of course, I can't tell you what that is, but I can show you a little bit more in this exciting area walkthrough video. So roll the tape.
Oh my! Let's see it. Area walkthrough video. All right, looks beautiful, looks cool, majestic. Can we get a PC release date though? Please. Talk about. Wow, dude. Sorry, I'm like quiet a little bit here because I'm just absorbing this. I'm processing all this. Like the environments look so sick. Tomberry. Oh.
ちょっといいところで切れてるんじゃない？
You know,
Okay, these shots look
like
even better than the
cliffhanger,
actual
but we were
gameplay.
getting
That's
to the good
insane. Like
part.
these
まああれはまたちょっとね
these like
話を
screenshots of the environmental
We'll
artwork
talk a little bit
and
more about
stuff
that.
is
Nice.
wow.
まあ、ミシリアかなり広いフィールドになっているので見どころたくさんあるんですけど、中でも僕としてはぜひですね、スクリーンショットの一番右上にあると思うんですけど、まあ、あれ波が時間停止したかのように固まってるっていうシチュエーションです。
So of course, Mysidia is going to be this vast area that you'll be traversing. But one thing that I would like to point out is the top left, where you see that big wave kind of frozen in time.
水のその一粒一粒まで完全に時間停止された場合どういった見え方になるのか、その表現アーティストも含めて徹底的に作ってくれたので非常に美しい、しかも結構ギリギリまで寄って見れるので、ぜひそういった風景にもご注目いただければと思います。
And the artists were very particular about how we depicted the water down to the different drops of water that are frozen in time. So, and you can get pretty close to that sort of still wave. So we would recommend to look at it when you see the environment.
それにしてもさ、最後なんかこう包丁みたいなやつ持ってたやついたよね。
Just going back to that last part of that trailer when we saw that monster with that giant blade that kind of, you know, coming at you.
Yeah, the Tomberry.
いややっぱ
The
り
Tomberry.
下げないわけにはいかないので、ちょっと彼らの紹介もさせてもらえればと思います。
Okay, yeah, don't worry. We will talk. I mean, we can't not talk about those guys, and so we're going to talk about them.
じゃあ次のスライド行きましょうか。
This Tomberry looks so crazy,
この
dude.
地域にね暮らす新たな蛮族であるトンベリ族になります。まあ、FF シリーズを代表するねモンスターの一つですが、まあ、今回かなりまがまがしくなっております。
So, Mysidia is home to its own unique tribe of beastmen, the Tomeberries. Fans of the Final Fantasy series are sure to recognize these fearsome foes, despite their somewhat sinister appearance in Final Fantasy XVI.
で前回のトレーラーで実は最も再生されている箇所はこのトンベリが登場するシーンだったんですね。でなんでそれがこうなったのかっていうのをぜひここで話させてもらえればと思います。
And so we first introduced these Tomeberries in the last trailer that we had. And when we looked at the YouTube data regarding which portion of the trailer was played the most, at the Tomeberry spot, there's this huge spike. And so because you've shown that much interest in it, we wanted to talk a little bit about the Tomeberries and how they got their design.
じゃあ次の
Very cool.
はい。でこれが従来のトンベリです。もうこれは可愛いですよね。
俺は知ってる。
そう。
Yeah, so I'm guessing
The
this is
classic
what
design.
most of us think about when we hear Tomeberries in Final Fantasy,
I
right?
know.
Yes,
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
for sure. We recognize this one.
でこれが、実はね16の本編の開発初期に登場するアイディアがあったんで、その時に描かれたアートをお見せしたいと思います。
So back during the early development of Final Fantasy XVI, we're throwing around ideas of monsters to put in the main game. And wouldn't you know, Tomeberry was one on the list. And here is the original concept art that our artists came up with.
Okay.
No.
まあこの時点で真ん中がちょっとおかしいですよね。
Yeah.
Ooh, Master Tomberry is undead? Okay, that's interesting.
メモでマスタートンベリはアンデッドと書かれて、
And also you can see right down there at the bottom, it says the Master Tomeberry is undead.
まあこれはですね、やっぱりこうファイナルファンタジー16本編を作っていくときに、いわゆる皆さんがよく知ってる FF のまあレガシーモンスターっていうのを登場させよう。
There's also got like a katana sword.
というミーティングをまあ高井宏と
Like something about a long sword.
So of course, when we were making the base game of Final Fantasy XVI, we were thinking about incorporating legacy characters from the Final Fantasy series that are recognized by players, and we were trying to choose which ones. And Takai and I were talking about it.
で当然そのトンベリも まあやっぱりキャッチーでもあるし、アクションにしてみたら攻撃かなり怖そうでいいよねっていう話をしてたんですけど、とにかく元になってるデザインの情報量がとにかく少ない。
But of course, when we were thinking about the Tomberry, yeah, its movements are very catchy. The attacks are very scary. But when you look at the original design, and it's just so simple looking.
なのでやっぱりこう情報量16ってかなりリアルなゲームグラフィックスになっているので、あのままの情報量だとあまりにも足りないので、まあ高い主導のもともっと情報量を足したトンベリを作ろうって言ってなったのがあれです。
So with Final Fantasy 16 and the aesthetics that it holds, with the amount of information that is in the details, and trying to translate such a simple figure into that would make it so awkward. So Takai was supervising, okay, so how would we look at this very little information and try to bring it into the realm of 16, and then that's what we came up with over here.
ただまあやってはみたものの、布はたくさんあって揺れるわ、ランタンは揺れるわ、揺れるもの多すぎてちょっと待ってくれ、一回ちょっと考え直そうっていうことになってボツになってた。
That said, there were a lot of swaying elements, including the hood, a lot of cloth that kind of waves back and forth. Oh, the lantern is hanging from its hand, so it's shaking. Wait a minute, this is a little too complicated at this time. So I'm afraid we had to scrap it.
でその後に DLC の制作が始まって、ちょうど僕が FF レガシーのモンスターも登場させたいと考えていたところにこのアートを見つけて、まあ、ただちょっとさすがに肉はつけておくかと、生きてる状態にしておくかということで新たにデザインを起こしてもらうという流れになりました。
But when we started working on the DLC, we really wanted to bring back some of the legacy Final Fantasy monsters, and that's when we remembered we already had one that we designed and hadn't used yet. So after adding a little bit of meat back to his bones and, you know, unzombifying him a little bit, we settled on the following design.
Okay, very cool.
はい、これ一番右がねトンベリキングなんですけど、一応ねフードの上からですがちゃんと王冠もかぶってますね。
And so on the right, we have the Tomberry King. You can tell by his crown, which he's wearing over his hood for some reason.
Right.
でまあどのトンベリもかなりね殺意高めに包丁を振り回してくるので、ぜひねミシディアで見かけた際にはご注意いただければと思います。
Otherwise, the Tomberries are just as deadly as you remember. So watch out for those extra large knives and their grudges.
結構な数ミシディアのフィールドをうろうろしているので、特に16リアルタイムアクション、突然後ろからトンベリに刺されるっていうことがよくあります。
So a lot of these Tomberries are going to be lurking around in the Mysidia open field, so sometimes they might ambush you from behind, so please be careful.
Oh man, they gonna be ambushing?
スーッと構えるので、
Oh boy.
それをぜひ見逃さないようにしてください。
That said, because this is an action game, the Tomberry will kind of take form, or like they'll take their blade, and you will know that they're ready to attack. So that might be a good warning for you to escape or dodge them.
じゃあですね、そんなトンベリとも、戦えるようなクライブの新しい力、手に入れますので、そちらの紹介をしていきたいと思います。
Fortunately, though, Clive will have a little extra help in dealing with these guys.
はい、新たな召喚獣リヴァイア
Right, new abilities in the form of Leviathan. Hypnotize, drown your enemies both near and far with the terrible
That
might
now
of the
comes in the
icon
form
of
a new
water.
set of iconic abilities for Leviathan, in which Clive summons a sea serpent onto his left hand to use like a firearm.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
召喚獣になっているんですけれども、まあ、近接主体のクライブであっても彼にとって魅力的なアビリティで多く構成されています。
So in
Not
contrast to
exactly
most
like
existing iconic abilities, which are mostly
unique,
melee,
because I mean this has kind of been like done in
Leviathan
Elden Ring and
features a
other
wide
games
variety of
before, where you
unique
can like
range
have a monstrous
続いて
arm of some type to like
オーディンアームのように
attack with.
通常攻撃が別の攻撃に差し替わる形ですが、四角でショットガン、三角でレーザーだったりと
But I think it
大幅に
might be a
その性能を
first for Final
切り替える
Fantasy.
形になっています。
So similar to Odin's Arm of Darkness, activating Leviathan's Serpent's Cry feat will change your basic triangle and
That can be
square
used at
button
great
attack,
distances using triangle or
turning the
square.
former into
Okay.
a wide
Or
area
and square,
laser,
sorry.
and the latter into an impromptu shotgun.
でこれら、かなりね強力なんですけど、その時に撃つ時に、タイダルゲージというリソースを消費します。なので、途中でリロードを挟む必要が出てくるわけですね。
So these attacks are fairly powerful, but using them will drain what is called your tidal gauge. When the gauge is depleted, you will need to reload before you can attack again.
でその時にタイミングよく入力すること
So
で
basically a magical
ゲー
gun.
ジ消費なしで撃ち放題になる
An
というそういう
icon-
要素もあるので、ここが、ね、
magical gun.
皆さんの腕の見せ所になってきます。
So if you time your reload perfectly, then when the preload prompt appears on screen, you will temporarily gain unlimited ammunition. These perfect reloads are the key to maximizing damage.
で今日はそのリヴァイアさんを使った、
OK
バトル動画をご用意してますので、ぜひね、自分ならどう使うかっていうのをイメージしながら見てみてください。
So I know that was a kind of a lot to follow, so I've brought a video showcasing the Leviathan abilities in action. Hopefully it will give you a better idea of how they can be used. Roll the tape.
Sweet. All right, another video showing the abilities of Leviathan. I can't talk. Leviathan abilities. Okay. We got the Tomberry King. Yes, Tomberry King fighting here. Okay. Yeah, it's basically a gun, a magical gun. But it's more than that too, because there's certain abilities there that are like, you know, melee or close range based. It's not just like projectile based. That's pretty cool. You can come, you know, do combos, which is pretty sick. Nice. Oh, that's very cool. Wow. Wow, and frozen in place. A crazy ass, like, cyclone of water. Wow, the frames were dipping there though, but man, still pretty cool.
まあクライブはね近接がメインですけど、今最後の方でねコンビネーションでご覧いただいたように近づいて離れてリヴァイアさん使ってさらに敵引き寄せて近接やってまたリヴァイアさんみたいなかなり組み合わせの自由度高いアクションになってます。
So yeah, you may be familiar with a lot of Clive's melee abilities, but with Leviathan, you can kind of see how towards the end of the battle video, you saw that he used a combination. You would go near the enemies and then pull back, launch Leviathan, or you can draw your enemies and then do your melee and then go back and launch Leviathan. So it's very strategic. You can try out different combinations.
まあさっきのトンベリもね近づかなきゃいいね。リヴァイアさんずっと撃ってりゃいいからね。
楽勝です。
And of course, with the Tomberries too, as long as you're not near them, they won't come and stab you. So maybe
Right.
utilize that to your advantage.
はい、じゃあですね、次はこの新たな力も得たクライブで挑める、バトルコンテンツというものを用意してますので、そちらの紹介もさせてください。
All right, so that's all for Leviathan, but we have one more bit of battle content to introduce today.
Oh?
はい、新たなバトルコンテンツで名前は
New in-game content.
と言います。
And this new battle content is called
Kairos Gate?
Kairos Gate. So I'd like to step in just a little bit with a public service announcement. I've been informed by one of our staff members with the Greek heritage that this is actually pronounced closer to Kairos, but we're using the ancient Greek pronunciation, which is closer to Kairos. And so please, those people that are like furiously typing right now, it's wrong. Put your keyboards down.
Okay, Kairos.
We're doing it on purpose. Thank you.
まあまあ古代ギリシャ語だとねどっちなんだよリナはって。
発音がね大変ですからね。
Wow, the difference between ancient Greek and modern Greek.
はい、じゃあ内容の説明に戻りた
All
いと思い
right,
ます。
so let's talk a little bit about the actual content now.
でこのコンテンツなんですけど、本編と雷軸態度の
Yeah, what's up with
シナリオを
this?
することで解放されるバトル系のエンドコンテンツとなっています。
All right, so this endgame content is unlocked once you have cleared both the main scenario in the main game and the Rising Tide storyline.
すでに
Okay.
強くてニューゲームで遊んでいる方は、あとはこのライジングタイドのシナリオさえクリアすれば OK ですね。
Which means those players have already completed the game and are playing on New Game Plus need only to complete the Rising Tide storyline to access the content.
内容はすごく簡単に言うと敵との連戦を勝ち進んでいくいわゆるサバイバルモード的な遊びなんですが
Fight your way through 20 stages, each one growing more difficult. So basically a gauntlet.
Kairos Gate is, in essence, a survival mode wherein Clive must fight his way through 20...
Or survival mode, yeah. Gauntlet survival mode basically is what it is.
はい、でまず重要なのが階層
Alright, Jaskill, no problem, man.
専用のポイントを使ってクライブ
We'll talk later.
という点です。
So after each stage, Clive will earn special points that are used to enhance his abilities and improve his chances in later stages.
でそのポイントっていうのが階層をクリアした時にもらえるわけなんですが、バトル中にそのテクニックを数値化したバトルパフォーマンスというのが高くなるほどに、そのもらえる強化ポイントっていうのも増えていきます。
The amount of points received will depend on your battle performance or score during the previous stage.
Uh-huh.
そして、階層をクリアすると、かなり豪華なんですけど、さまざまな報酬が手に入るようになっています。
Cool. Find new materials, weapons at any
Clearing
stage.
stages
Gotcha.
will earn you various items and rich rewards.
そして、PS5 のリーダーボードにも対応していて、報酬をね、一つ
Enters leaderboards, yeah.
何度もプレイして、
Basically a survival mode.
ランキングを競うといったこともできるようになってます。
Man, that's
High
cool.
scores will also be uploaded to the PS5 leaderboard, so you can play for either the loot or you can play for the glory.
文字だけで説明してもやっぱりわからないと思うので、こちらも実際にプレイしている動画を流しながら我々が説明していくという形で見ていただこうと思います。
Again, that was probably a lot to take in all at once, so I'm going to show you a little bit of what the content looks like in this video, and I'll be explaining along with the video. So let's roll the tape.
All right, let's see.
はい、ということでカイロスゲート、アルテストーンから挑むことができます。
Okay, so the way to get through is via the Arete Stone in the hideaway.
ここに増えているのがこのカイロスゲートですね。
Yeah, and here we have the Kairos.
Okay. Makes sense.
はい、でカイロスゲートこのようにドット絵で描かれたキャラクターが登場する。
I like the old school retro look and feel of this UI.
Classic feel to the UI.
Yeah, definitely a nice classic.
でこの画面、階層をクリアするごとに訪れるベースキャンプ的な画面になってますね。
So what you see here is the base camp in between each stage, or circle as we call them, where Clive can prepare for the next battle.
で項目のマップからは各階層の敵の構成とか報酬といった情報が確認できます。
So here on the map, you can see what awaits Clive in each circle, as well as the rewards for completing the circles.
でさらに、クライブの強化が2種類あって、まずはこの EP を使ったステータス強化です。攻撃や防御といった、基礎的な強化ができますね。
Clive can improve his stats here. First is via permanent enhancements that require EP to purchase. Think improvements to basic attributes such as attack and defense.
でもう一つがこの BP を使って
Did you say permanent? So wait, this is like a roguelike?
数しか効果は効かないんですけれども、いろんな種類のバフを、発動させることができます。
The second way is via temporary boons that require BP. These are more varied, but only last.
So this is basically a survival mode slash roguelike mode for Final Fantasy 16. All right, not a bad idea, but it's crazy how a lot of these bigger companies are starting to adapt roguelike modes in their games. Like what, God of War Ragnarok did that. Last of Us Part 2 did that. And now FF16 is doing that.
で各階層基本的には3ウェブの敵で構成されていて、どこでアビリティを
It's not a bad idea in terms to like, you know, make a game more replayable. Honestly, it's not. Adding these type of modes or elements.
To maximize your score, you'll need to choose when and where to use your abilities, as also which boons to purchase.
で途中ねちょっとカットしてしまいましたが、
Like, I would much rather prefer this type of stuff over like a battle pass type of thing.
BP というものが獲得できます。
Like live service bullshit,
Here at the results screen,
you know,
your
stuff.
score as well as any EP and BP earned.
で目標クリアタイムというものも設定されていて、それを満たすことでより多くのポイントがもらえるというのが要素があるので、ある程度時間も意識してクリアするといいと思われます。
Each circle has a target time. Completing a circle quicker than the target time will earn you bonuses, not only for your score, but for your EP and BP.
そしてまたこの画面に戻ってきて、先ほど得た EP と BP を使って強化をして、また次のバトルに進んでいくっていうコンテンツになってますね。
And once the circle is complete, you'll return to the home base and prepare for the next one. Rinse and repeat.
だいぶ駆け足でしたが伝わったでしょうか。
Okay, I hope that was easy enough to understand.
はい、で途中にはねかなり強力な敵が連続で現れたり、ボスクラスの
That's
敵
pretty
も
cool.
現れたりするので、進めば進むほど敵が強力になっていくという要素も、含まれています。
As you progress through the stages, the challenges you face will grow increasingly more difficult, and there will also be more than one boss waiting for you.
ライト
Oh.
Can we turn the lights back on? The video's over.
あっちは
And that too.
あっちも
We have the-
スライド戻さないと。
There it is.
Okay, we're back.
はい、さらにですね、ファイナルファンタジーチャレンジモードのみになってしまうんですけれども、すべてのステージで S 評価を取るとすごく強い隠された敵が出たり出なかったりするかもしないかも。
And so, for those of you fearless enough to tackle the gate on the Final Fantasy mode, obtaining S rank on all 20 circles, you may unlock a secret stage with a secret boss. Maybe. Or maybe not.
Oh?
Maybe じゃないんだよ
Really?
Obviously not maybe.
ごめんごめん
Secret
条
boss.
件確認させてくれるかな
But allow me to double check the conditions of unlocking this.
カイロスゲートをプレイしてかつそれがファイナルファンタジーモードであること、
はい、
Okay, so you will need to enter into Kairos Gate. The difficulty must be Final Fantasy mode.
全20階層をすべて S ランクで突破すると
And you have to get through all 20 circles and achieve a score of S.
エクストラステージエクストラボスがいる
But doing so will allow for you to encounter this extra secret boss.
Not maybe, yes or no
Yes! Yes!
Okay. Okay.
Very cool. All right.
ちなみにかなりやばいボスなので相当動画配信も映えると思いますのでぜひアクション自信のある方はですねその隠しボス挑んでみていただけたらと思います
And by the way, this is a really insane boss character that you'll be fighting. And I think those of you who like to make video content, it's going to look really good on screen. So if you are confident in your battle skills, you want to test your mettle, we recommend that content.
ということでぜひ
Oh
皆さんね
boy
カイロスゲートにもチャレンジしてみてください。
Okay, we hope you enjoy the challenge.
そして、次のスライド行ってみましょうか。
All right, moving on. Once Clive has obtained all of the icons.
No 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 no
No.
の
What?
No?
no
No?
Don't talk this
No, no, it
We're
was
not-
Yoshi P?
Stop
No.
Don't talk this
Yoshi P, what you
ということ
cooking?
でダッシュはしましたが、このページについての説明は一切行いません。
So, I guess please disregard the winged Clive up there on the screen, because we will not be talking about that all today. No?
Oh, they made a mistake.
ではない
It's not
It's
Sephiroth.
not Sephiroth.
They're not talking about that. Okay.
まあ今日ディレクターのクジラ岡からそのライジングタイドいろんな新しいバトルコンテンツも含めて紹介してもらいましたけど、
Or are they?
我々ライジングタイドこれだけではないということだけお伝えして終わろうかなと思います。
Okay.
So, of course, director Kujiraoka had gone through the different elements that are available for the Rising Tide, including the battle and whatnot. But just wanted to mention that, yeah, that's not all that's contained. So.
なのでぜひ皆さんの目で確かめていただきたいですし、今日ちょっとやっぱスポイラーが強いのであまりストーリーのお話できませんでしたが、かなりのボリュームのあるストーリー今回用意されてます。
So we would love to encourage people to get the DLC to see it for yourselves with your own eyes. And I'm afraid there were a lot of spoiler elements, so we couldn't go into the story, but that's another thing that we really sort of focus and emphasize. So it's quite rich and the volume is there.
まあ特に今回ミシディアという
Release date for this and PC release date for the game,
北部
please.
北部領旧北部領に近い位置なのでかなりジルにもフォーカスされたストーリーが展開されることになる
No problem,
の
man.
でぜひ ジル大好きだという皆さんはそのストーリーにもねご注目いただければと思います。
And of course, Mysidia being a very magic central area, it actually is the hometown of Jill as well. In the
She lived in. It's not the
or not
hometown.
sorry,
It's the region, the Northern Territory is
North
where Jill is
Territory,
from.
sorry.
Yeah.
Where she comes from. So if you love Jill, story might be another good element to look out for.
Okay.
さあではここまでで、
I have a little technical issues there.
一通り説明終わりましたので、
Oh, they're still having technical issues. What's going on
ライジングタイ
with
ド
the feed?
と同時にリリースする、プレイヤーの皆さん全員にリリースされるアップデートのお話もさせてもらいます。
So we talked about the content of the DLC up to this point, but we will also be applying an update to the base game itself for those of you who
They're still having issues. This is not good. Oh no.
でまずはクエスト関連の
We're getting a free update though.
So first off, we're going to talk about a little bit quality of life updates for the quest system.
Okay, a quality life update for the quest system. Let's go.
その対象者の元にワープできるという機能が追加されます。
So first off, we're adding a quick complete function that gives you the choice to warp directly back to your quest giver after finishing a quest's final objective.
Thank you.
先行してプレイステーション5版でもうすでにプレイしてくださった皆さんのフィードバックというのをしっかりこの後新たに遊ぶプレイヤーの皆さんに届けていくためにいろんなものをね対応させていただいてます。
So yeah, we are looking into the future. Of course, those of you who have played on the PlayStation 5 had provided really good feedback. So we paid attention to those and tried to apply where it is necessary so that when we welcome in new players, they will also be able to take part in this.
そして、すでにもう表示されてはいますが、報酬でコレクションアイテムがもらえるというクエストのアイコンが変更されます。
And next up, we've changed the quest icons for quests where you can earn collectibles for Clive's Wall of Memories.
でこれなんでかというと、
Okay.
これらのそのクエストって、主要なキャラクターの掘り下げが行われていることが多くて、それをやってるかやってないかでシナリオの解像度がかなり変わってしまうため、今回から、こちらから分かりやすく提示するという形に、なりました。
So these quests usually involve some of the game's most important characters and heavily supplement the main scenarios, who wanted to make them better stand out amongst all of the other side quests.
で先ほどね話がありましたけど、これから遊ぶ方は、せめてね時間がなかったとしてもこのアイコンのクエストだけ遊んでいただければ、さらにね16の物語がより深く楽しめるようになると思いますので、ぜひ覚えておいていただきたいと思います。
So again, hopefully this will help players new to Final Fantasy XVI better understand the story.
では続いてバトル関連をいきたいと思います。
Next up, we'll be introducing some changes.
What?
まずフィートとアビリティ
New skill set feature allows you to stay up with the 5 unique feats and ability sets. Oh my god, thank
First off,
you.
players will now be able to create and save up to 5 feat and ability sets. As long as you're not in combat, you can use this feature to instantly swap between different loadouts.
Awesome, thank you. That is such a quality life change. Holy shit.
使ってください。
This will probably come in handy if you want to challenge the Cairo skate. So you might
Abilities and accessories adjusted to make easier to use. Hell yeah.
一部アビリティとアクセリの、調整が行われます。ナーフは一切ありません。
So we'll be adjusting some abilities and accessories. No nerfing.
Sweet. They're not nerfing anything. Good.
で詳しい、そしてあとカスタムの操作方法の追加がね行われます。
Hey, Lana.
And finally, we'll be adding a new controller type that allows you to freely customize your button layout.
Thank you. Holy fuck, man. Thank you. Oh.
大変お待たせしましたが、すべての、キーアサインを自在に
I'm fine, and you?
フルカスタムようやくご用意できましたので、ぜひ使ってみてください。
And this was a requested feature, so thank you for your patience on this. But we have made it. So
Yes.
that you can,
Jesus Christ.
freely
Thank
customize
you.
your key
Like,
assignments.
どのスキルがどう変わるみたいな。
all three of those are big quality life
前
changes
にお知らせを、出させてもらいますので、そちらを確
that
認
are
してください。
awesome.
But again, for more information about this, we'll have a very, very detailed patch notes coming out right before the patch drops.
Right, right.
はい、では続いてその他の項目いきたいと思います。
But that's not all.
Oh.
はい、
More?
モードかなりたくさんの機能が追加されます。
We'll be adding new features to the photo mode.
Okay, I don't care about full mode, but that's pretty cool for people to do. Yo, thank you, Blue. Still sleepy? Get some coffee if you need it, or something, or food. I don't know.
OK ストリオの楽譜が大幅に追加されます。
And we'll be adding countless new orchestrion roles to the game.
でこれで
おー
召喚獣戦の曲なんかもアーチトで流せるようになります。
Very
Various
nice.
icon battles. But wait. You say countless. What are we talking about? Like 10?
More,
Like 20?
more,
Like 30?
more.
Like 40? It's 40. Okay?
Waffle Jawline, what's up? Welcome.
40曲近く追加されるってこ
Yes,
とね。
around 40.
Almost 40 songs.
はい、でこの他にもまだねあるんですけれども、主な、ポイントとしては以上紹介した内容になります。
はい。
And of course, there's more to the update, but that's all we're going to cover today.
Right.
以上がバージョン1.30の紹介ですね。
All right, and that's all for 1.30 version updates.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. Finish.
Wait,
Sit down.
wait,
There's more.
Sit down.
Finish.
wait.
Sit down.
Release date?
Release date.
Release date.
Release date, yeah. Release date, my guy.
That's the job.
発売日発表させていただきます。
And so our release date, here we go.
今日じゃない。
Sorry.
April 18th, baby.
2024年の4月18日
April
世界同日のリリースとなります。
Releasing worldwide
For the
April 18th,
DLC,
2024. That's in like
the
3
Rising Tide DLC.
まあ値段は US ドルで19.99になってます。で、すでにリリースさせていただいている DLC 第1弾と第2弾セットになった
I've got to get the DLC myself.
発売中ですので、ぜひそちらもご検討ください。
So of course the price here
So for those that don't
is
know-
$19.99 US dollars.
Wait.
We also have the expansion pass, which will allow you access to both Echoes of the Fallen and the Rising Tide. So we would hope that people would consider.
All right, thank you.
Wait.
Wait.
Come on, come on.
There's more.
Two more informations.
Two more? Two more?
君らそんなに帰りたい
PC release date, please.
Get on this
Oh shit! FF16, FF14 crossover quest line coming early April, baby. Oh yeah!
させていただいてるんですが
I thought he wasn't going to talk about this till tomorrow.
ファイナルファンタジー14のクロスオーバークエストが間もなく、公開となります。
So of course we've announced this coming, but finally we are almost there. Final Fantasy 14 and a 16 crossover event.
All right.
No
PC release date,
Nothing-
please.
No release date?
No release date.
No release date on
No
this
release
one,
date for
don't
this.
違う。明日。
Oh,
さらにですね、ファイナルファンタジーブレイブエクスビアスの方で、
Oh, come on, man.
okay.
Not the mobile
Final
game.
Fantasy Brave Exvius will be hosting a collab with Final Fantasy 16.
今ご覧いただいたように、ファイナルファンタ
I
ジー
want a PC release date, man. Come on.
いきますので、どうぞ
In conclusion, overall pretty solid with the information talked about. Very cool stuff to look forward to in the Rising Tides DLC. And for those that don't know, the previous DLC was $10, right? So the Rising Tide one is $20, making a total of $30. So, but you can get both for like $25 if you want to go that route. Save you like $5, basically. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I've not actually played the previous DLC yet. So, and with it dropping April, yeah, you know, I'll probably pick it up, you know, check it out. Depends where I'm at. Like by the time April gets here and like where I'm at game wise on like main games, I just got Dragon's Dogma 2 and I'm loving that so far, despite, you know, the mixed opinions and whatnot of that. I'm not going to get into that here for this, you know, but or at least for this like reaction video and whatnot. But yeah. So it all depends on how, like, if I beat Dragon's Dogma 2 before Stellar Blade comes out, because I do want to get Stellar Blade. And yeah. we'll see. I'm still on Rebirth as well too. I haven't even finished Rebirth yet. Holy fuck. Like, that game's incredible. So right now I'm busy with FF7 Rebirth, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is my main single player games I'm working on. And it's still taking me a while to get through. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, like I said, I do want to check out this DLC. It just probably won't be day one. You know, it'll probably be a while. So we'll see.